What's up, Final Community? It's your boys, Chris
And Josh.
and Josh, coming at you live from this ghetto establishment in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, so wonderful day today. Not over yet. We still got some live jazz music to take in here in about an hour and a half. But this morning, Josh and I got up, departed our ghetto establishment here in Atlanta, Georgia, and decided to make our way to Fox Brothers Barbecue in Atlanta, Georgia. I had been told by my boy Ed. Ed, I know you watch most of my videos. Shout out to you, my friend. Cheers to you for the recommendation. I really appreciate it. You were hit the nail right on the head. You said to be there as soon as they opened, and you were not bullshitting. We pulled in there about 10:58, and they already had a little line wrapped around the corner, and it just got worse from there. So cheers to you on the advice. Gonna throw some pictures in from Fox Brothers. The food was great. I had smoked wings and brisket with collards and mac and cheese, and Josh had
Big Tex beef brisket.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, so
And before that we had
fried beef. Was it beef or pork?
fried ribs.
Yeah, well, they were great. Anyway, so fantastic. If you're ever in Atlanta, Georgia, we highly recommend Fox Brothers Barbecue. Can't recommend it enough. And what was best about that, so guys, obviously your boy here, I always do my research, and I had been doing some research for this trip. We planned it a couple months back, I'd say. So ever since then, I've been really looking hard for things for us to do. Googled record stores, asked some locals, things like that. And everybody was recommending some places, and some other people are like, okay, well, those places, like, you might not find what you're looking for there. We know you like jazz and yada, yada, yada. So today's plan was kind of a little more, yesterday we had a rock solid plan no sooner than we got into town. We knew exactly what we were going to do. Today it was a little more loose. It's like, okay, well, let's kind of just see, where it takes us from Fox Brothers. So while we're at Fox Brothers, our waitress, I cannot remember her name, but she was lovely. We appreciate her. I just wish I had gotten her name. I'm sure she gave it. We probably just forgot. But Josh had mentioned to her that we were in town for a Braves game and, some record stores and whatnot. And she recommended this shop called the Record Loft. Okay, so in all my research and all of my, studying and everything, I had not seen anything about a shop called the Record Loft in Atlanta, Georgia. So, okay, all right. She said, well, it was new. I was like, okay. All right, and I'm going to be honest with you. I had my hopes kind of low because I thought to myself, it's going to be some brand new place, probably run by some 25-year-old, probably going to be all new. I mean, I was being kind of cynical, but okay, we'll go check it out. So we get there. We walk in, and I could not have been more wrong. You look up on the wall, a bunch of rare stuff immediately drops out. You got a Seal Jimmy Smith. You got Luke Donaldson on the wall. You got a couple others I won't spoil because Josh and I are getting ready to show you guys some of them. And then, of course, we found some other stuff digging through the crates, too. And I got to tell you guys, wow, great dig at the Record Loft. So, Josh, show the people what you got at the Record Loft.
So the Record Loft was really awesome. Just pretty much in the middle, like you really had to look for this because it's really in a loft. But found some good stuff that Chris highly recommended. We have Backcountry Suite by Mose Allison Trio. So we have Mose Allen on piano and on vocals, Taylor Lafargue on bass, and Frank Isola on drums. Chris highly recommended this. It's if you're going to own any Mose Allison, this is the one to own. First pressing, so on Prestige. So yeah, looking forward to that. Been wanting to try to collect more guitar jazz, and you can't get any better than Kenny Burrell, with the exception of Grant Green and Wes Montgomery and all. But Kenny Burrell album with the Andy Warhol picture on it. Doesn't really have a name, it's just Kenny Burrell, right? It's a self-titled album. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Kenny Burrell on guitar, Tommy Flanagan on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, Kenny Clark on drums, Candido and conga drums. This, I believe, can't remember what pressing this is.
I think it's the Blue Label Black B, isn't it?
Let's find out.
Pull it out. We got time. Why not?
It is the Blue
Label Black B.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, figured I'd own it. It was a pretty reasonable price for it being an early reissue.
Especially since it's $1,000 OG.
Yep. And this one I picked out, and Chris didn't know I picked it out.
Great record.
But it was a Japanese import. Interplay, Bill Evans, with Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Jim Hall on guitar, Bill Evans on piano, Percy Heath on bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drums. So yeah, just the lineup sold that to me alone.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's Bill's first album outside of a trio setting.
Yep.
And as much as I love the trio stuff, especially with Scott LaFaro,
Yep.
as much as I love that stuff, there's something about this album that it's just alive.
It stands out.
It just stands out in his discography. It just cooks, and I love it.
And the one that I saw on the Holy Moly wall first, that I was just like, gotta have it, is Bearcat Clifford Jordan Quartet. Check that out, folks. Clifford Jordan on tenor sax, Cedar Walton on piano, Teddy Smith on bass, and J.C. Moses on drums. It's on Jazzland.
First stereo, if I'm not mistaken.
First stereo, yep. Yep, and Chris, I pulled it out, and he's like, yep, you gotta own that one, no doubt. So, it's also kind of funny because I went to Rock Hill High School, and we're the Bearcats. So,
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's also got like a little bit of sentimental nostalgia for me there.
It's cool that you thought about it. I didn't think about that.
So Clifford Jordan, always wanted to own one of his records, and that's a good one to own. So those were my picks from Record Loft. And Chris, if you want to show them, the fine folks at home, what you got from Record Loft?
I do indeed. All right, so we go in, and again, like I said, I had my expectations rather low. No offense or anything. I'd done so much research and I'd heard nothing about them. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's probably not a whole lot to it. And the waitress that served us is, she probably just saw a record store, saw a couple guys looking for records, and threw out a recommendation. I couldn't have been more wrong. Like I want to show up and buy our waitress at Fox Brothers a beer just for the recommendation, even though she liked both of our wallets substantially. We appreciate it. So I show up, look at it on the wall, and immediately I'm like, okay, no, this shit's legit. Immediately. You walk in, shit's legit. So I walk in, catch some stuff on the wall. The first record I nabbed is going to be the last one I'll show you. The other two I found in the bins. Bunch of others that you won't see are on the wall. Like they had LD+3 was on the wall, but I have it. And they had Jimmy Smith Home Cooking on the wall, sealed. Bunch of stuff and a bunch of soul, some others, lots of good stuff. So anyway, to what I picked. This is what I picked going through the bins. So I love Art Pepper. And this is Thursday night at the Village Vanguard. It's still in a shrink. Not that that matters to me, but it's George Cable, George Mraz, and Elvin Jones. Some contemporary guys. I hadn't done this for y'all in a while. Yeah. Her so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Now it looks like a record. So, shrink wrap. Tear that shit off. Let your record breathe. So, anyway.
I just realized I forgot to do
Big
that.
fan. Josh is going to go back.
I forgot to do that with my King Burrell.
Josh is going to do it too.
And there you go.
Now that shit looks like a record. Hell yeah.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. It's a record now.
And it's clean.
Yeah. And for all of you guys who act like having your record in shitty trash shrink makes it worth more money, it doesn't. Anyway, rant over. You guys know how I feel about shrink wrap after all these years. I'm not going to bore you anymore about it. So this one, go through the bins. I couldn't figure out why this one wasn't on the wall. This is major league to me. And I think to a lot of people that I'm getting ready to show it to. It's been one that I've been after a while, especially since I've started to delve even deeper into the wonderful discography of the lovely, talented, wonderful, just Alice Coltrane. It's Alice Coltrane with Strings, World Galaxy. On Impulse, it's OG, Stereo, Love the gatefold. Beautiful stuff. Man, what a wonderful record. It's Frank Lowe on tenor and soprano saxophones, Ben Riley on percussion, Reginald Workman on bass violin with arrangements and orchestrations by Alice Coltrane. And again, like I said, just what a record. And of course, I got to show you guys Splat Owl, OG stereo. And man, I cannot wait to get home and just throw that on and just immerse myself in it, if you will.
I always thought you had that one for some reason.
I did not. Did not. It's one of just a couple of hers that I don't have. Well, it was one of the ones of hers that I didn't have. And the one that I grabbed immediately as soon as I walked in, I'm looking at the wall. Like I said, I glanced at the wall and I could immediately tell, okay, shit, this place is for real. Another thing that did it for me was the owner walks around the corner and he's this older guy, and he's immediately kind of talking trash to us, kind of talking it up with us, and talking about records. I'm like, okay. So this is the guy here who's probably been digging for records for 40, 50 years. Yeah. Probably, right? So that's another thing that's like, okay, this is going to be good. And first thing that I nabbed, I finally looked up, I walked around, it's the Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra, Volume 2, stereo. And for a price that I just could not believe, it does have the shrink still on it. And yeah, man, I gotta tell you, son, yeah, that shit gone too, cuz. No more shrink wrap. Now it looks like a record, as you guys can see. I'm gonna take plenty of care of this record. I don't need shrink wrap. But man, I gotta tell you, guys, Sun Ra is the kind of artist that I tried to understand early on upon listening to jazz, and I just couldn't get it. I'm just gonna be honest, I couldn't get it. I tried, I bought some records. Hell, I even bought some of his and sold them that I wish I hadn't now that I've started to understand and get into them a little bit better. So now I'm like, God damn it, I'd like to have that one back. And I'll get it, don't get it twisted. But I'll go on a quick opinion, why not? We got time. If you're watching me, you got time. I've always kind of loved the whole feeling and expression, and by loved, I don't mean in a good way, by the way, that people who are listening to jazz, like, you only listen to music one way. You only like one style of music. Like, you can't branch out. Okay, so, rock has got its subgenres, right? You got your classic rock, you got your metal, your punk, your all kinds of different variations of grunge, all kinds of, like, oh, so you can be a rock fan and still be versatile and branch out. But nobody thinks you can as a jazz fan. Everybody thinks that as a jazz fan, you just listen to one style of music. And this shit just couldn't be further from the truth. It's bullshit. And so, anyway, it's a little mini rant, and no other proof. I wish those people would park those douchebag vehicles in Atlanta. Jesus Christ.
That doesn't help that we got a hole in the window.
No, that doesn't help. Anyway, that's for that's for a later video. The Heliocentric Worlds of Sun Ra, Volume 2. Sun Ra released over 100 albums in his lifetime. Guys, this is great stuff. And the ESP disc here. More sirens. Jesus Christ. Anyway, love it. Beautiful. Oh, man.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Indeed.
Now begin the Microphone Brigade. Well, please don't give me no break.
I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it in the background of this video, but it's just basically sounds like a drag strip right outside of our little apartment we're staying in. Anyway, so that's it for me from the Record Loft. So while we're there, I decided to go ahead and ask that gentleman. His name's Steve, great guy, and that's wonderful, and a little change of pace for us because I know a douchebag named Steve. Anyway, so I asked him, and Josh likes that because he knows said douchebag. Anyway, I asked him, okay, so this is what we're into, this is what we like. We've gotten some recommendations for record stores in Atlanta, but we've also been told they might not have the kind of stuff that we're after. What do you recommend for the kind of stuff you just saw us buy? And he recommended a couple of shops. He recommended Wookstree and he recommended Ella Guru. Okay, so we decided to do Ella Guru first. And we spent so much goddamn money at Ella Guru. Walk Street wasn't happening. Matter of fact, this is it for your boys. For record stores for the weekend, we tapped
Cut off.
out.
Cut off.
Nobody cut us off. Cut ourselves off. Being responsible here. Trying. So, on that note, went to Ella Guru. And I gotta tell you guys, found some wonderful stuff. Great stuff. A bunch of stuff we couldn't afford. The gentleman who owns the store could not have been nicer. Super cool guy, wonderful guy. And talked to us, gave us contact information, told us to reach out to him in the future. He'd be willing to ship to us, all kinds of stuff, which is just awesome to me. And it's very rare this day and age, especially since I didn't ask him to. I didn't ask him about the record. I'm like, hey, this record or whatever, I can't afford it today, but hey, would you ship it to me? I didn't ask him. He offered, which is cool, very cool. And I thank you for that. So we go, had a great dig. Josh, lead us off.
So I got two different stacks. I got one stack for me and one stack for my father-in-law, who's trying to get back into record collecting. We recently got him a new turntable. I think I've talked about it this and other videos. But my father-in-law, he's likes simple stuff. He loves jazz, but a lot of times he can't go hard like we do a lot of times. So he's got to go, the next best thing, and, either get him a reissue or get stuff that, he knows that he can afford. So I asked him, was there anything that you need me to get? And he gave me a little bit of a list, and lucky enough, this record store had them, because most record stores do have them. He said he was looking for this particular artist, Sergio Mendes, great Latin American artist who specializes in bossa nova type stuff and everything. So we got Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66. And we have Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66 Equinox. Yeah, Equinox and Urmali. I'm probably butchering that.
We probably are, but it's fine.
But it's fine. But so I got him those two, and he's really wanting to get back into the whole Stan Getz album collection. And luckily, these albums are relatively cheap.
Oh yeah.
So we have Focus by Stan Getz, more bossa nova type stuff, and Stan Getz and Gilberto. I'm probably pushing that.
I think it's João Gilberto.
Gilberto.
I think so. I think.
Anyway, classic bossa nova album featuring Antonio Carlos Jobim. Like if you're really into the whole Brazilian jazz kind of music, then it's right up your alley. And it's relatively cheap, and they've sold a lot of copies. And it's and it's on the Verve label, so
sold a ton.
Yep,
It's
and
definitely sold.
and it's still good music. Like it is what it is. Like like you can always find value in
It's sold a ton of copies for a reason. It's good
sold
music.
a ton of copies for millions of reasons. So anyway, that's my father-in-law's collection, and now we're going to get on to mine. I saw this record, and it just piqued my interest, because it's a Riverside label, and Riverside knows jazz very well. But for some reason, this album has banjos in it. So we had Harlem Banjo featuring Elmer Snowden Quartet featuring Cliff Jackson. So the only thing that I can say to describe this is the extremely high-spirited and vivacious music heard in this album is as much the music of the 60s as it was the 20s. Not a recreation, this is the actual Harlem Banjo of veteran band leader Elmer Snowden, whose early bands were proving grounds for such as Count Basie, Duke Ellington, Chick Webb, and many other jazz greats. Adding immensely to the spirit and rhythmic drive of these recordings is the ever-fresh stride piano of Cliff Jackson. So I thought that would be pretty interesting. So you got Elmer Snowden on banjo, Cliff Jackson on piano, Tommy Bryant on bass, Jimmy Crawford on drums, and recorded in December 9th of 1960. So I'm going to give that a listen, see what it's like. I'm pretty sure it has to be good if it's on Riverside.
We know
so.
how that is.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that, especially for that price. I mean,
Yeah. Next up, we got a few other decently priced jazz records, and Chris recommended them to me. You have Black Talk by Charles Earlin.
Yes, sir.
You got Charles Earlin on organ, Virgil Jones on trumpet, Houston Person on tenor sax. Houston Person is also from South Carolina, one of our South Carolina natives. And Melvin Sparks guitar, Idris Muhammad on drums, and Buddy Caldwell on conga.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about it, but Chris recommended it to me.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially for what you paid for.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful album.
And another one that he recommended was Out of the Storm with Ed Thigpen, featuring Kenny Burrell and Clark Terry, Herbie Hancock, and Ron Carter. The lineup just sold me alone. With the addition of Ed Thigpen on drums, you have Kenny Burrell on guitar, Clark Terry on trumpet, Herbie Hancock on piano, and Ron Carter on bass. So that's a great lineup. Looking forward to that. Enough said. And the next ones are the most expensive of the bunch. You have the Bobby Timmons Trio in Person, recorded live at the Village Vanguard on Riverside label. Yep, Bobby Timmons on piano, Ron Carter on bass, and Albert Heath on drums.
Phenomenal.
Yep. I've been on a real good Bobby Timmons kick lately.
Every Bobby Timmons record is
Yep.
good. They're all good.
So, and then this is a second pressing of Steeman with the Miles Davis Quintet on Prestige,
Bergenfield, New Jersey.
Bergenfield, New Jersey. Flat out. But yeah.
Fun fact, my favorite Miles Davis album.
Yeah. So you got Miles Davis on trumpet, John Coltrane on tenor saxophone, Red Garland on piano, Paul Chambers bass, and Philly Joe Jones on drums.
Gets no better than that.
Gets no better than that. Miles Davis knew how to pick up a lineup.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And last but certainly not least, probably my favorite of the bunch that I've gotten I forgot the name of the record store already.
El Guru?
El Guru. Is East Broadway Rundown, Sonny Rollins. Yeah. Look at that impulse right there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So you got Sonny
Sean
Rollins.
the Gatefold, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Impulse, it's rules.
Yeah,
It's
you got
tunes
the
rules.
Gatefold
Yes,
right
there you go.
There you go. Yeah, I've been really looking forward to getting this for some time. Because you got Sonny Rollins on tenor sax, Elvin Jones on drums, Jimmy Garrison on bass, and Freddie Hubbard on trumpet. So, honestly, it might be my favorite pick of the weekend.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's bold. Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd go ahead and say
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But,
I feel you. I got you.
yep. Look,
You got a mono too, didn't you?
Yep.
It's a mono, right?
That's a mono.
Nice.
and at a reasonable price,
I
too.
might slip it in my bag while you sleep. I've got a stereo. Got a first, but it's a stereo. You know how my ass likes my mono copy. Speaking of which,
On to you, brother.
let's go ahead and lead off with my stack. My stack is not nearly as vast as Josh's is, but you guys have gotten accustomed to that from watching our joint videos. Josh goes in, grabs a stack. I go in and grab 2 or 3, and we spend the same fucking amount of money. And then sometimes I spend more. It's just how it is. That's how it's always been. But anyway, got 3 records here for you, and I am thrilled. I've been looking forward to all 3. I've been looking for all 3 of them for I can't tell you how long. So I go in immediately. I look over to the far right of me, look up on the wall, and immediately know this shit's legit. And I look up there, and they've got several that I would love to have and several that I already want that are major. Like there's an original stereo Waltz for Debbie, dead center. Like, yes, sir. Moaning below that. I mean, you got, yeah, they got the one that bums me that I couldn't walk away with, but I might try to work it out later. Andrew Hill Smokestack, OG Mono. Damn, couldn't walk away with it. Bit too much. Couldn't afford it. and so I left it behind. But your boy has his ways. I might go back and try to find a way to get that later. So anyway, don't be shocked if you see it popped up on a Tunes video. So anyway, and then, you know, I'm looking at all that stuff and I'm like, kind of like, damn. And the gentleman behind the counter, the owner, is like, hey, you know, we've got plenty of other great jazz over there in the new arrivals. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go over there and look, and he wasn't bullshitting. I thumbed through about 2 or 3 records before I got to one I've been looking forward to forever. It's McCoy Tyner live at Newport. OG Mono. I have been looking for this record forever. This record is fantastic as another douchebag revs up his damn engine down there in Atlanta, downtown. Jesus Christ. Take a Uber. Anyway. Original Mono.
Uber won't come down here.
Oh, Uber might not come down here. DoorDash probably damn sure won't come down here. Anyway. I don't want you guys to think we're talking shit about Atlanta. Please don't think so. A couple of you watching this video are going to be from Atlanta.
Atlanta, we love Atlanta.
We love Atlanta.
We love Atlanta.
But we somehow...
Even though it's slightly or sluttier to Charlotte.
Jesus Christ. I said it, you repeated it on video. Anyway.
Love you, Atlanta. Hey, I'm a Braves fan. It's okay.
We're deleting nothing. Anyway.
We're deleting nothing.
McCoy Tyner live at Newport featuring Clock Terry, Charlie Mariano, Bob Cranshaw, and Mickey Roker. And Jesus Christ, this is a smoker. Got to open that gatefold flat out. And then, of course, you guys know the Tunes rules. And the Tunes rules for Impulse is that you get not only gatefold, but you get that gorgeous OG Impulse label. And goddamn, guys, I can't even tell you how much I'm looking forward to getting back to upstate South Carolina so I can clean this bitch up and spin it. Love McCoy Tyner. Love McCoy Tyner. Another one of those artists that was taken from us in the last couple of years, but I gotta tell you, I love the way these reissue campaigns from several of these labels have paid attention and highlighted the great, wonderful discography of McCoy Tyner with some wonderful reissues. So that's some wonderful stuff. I don't know if they'll ever touch this one, but if they don't, it can still be found relatively affordable. Happy to have it. Thrilled to have it, actually. The next one, I love Texas-born Booker Irvin. I love it. One of my absolute favorites on his said instrument, on his respective instrument. And I've been after his, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I could be, it's possible. I believe his only headlining release on Blue Note Records, I could be wrong again, but it's Booker Irvin, The In-Between. And damn it, I love it. It's an original pressing. Wonderful stuff. Booker Irvin, of course, on tenor. Richard Williams on trumpet. Bobby Few Jr. on piano. Severa Jeffries Jr. on bass. And Lenny McBrowney on drums. And guys, I got to tell you, and because these are more Tunes rules, Blue Note, baby, you got to hit that shit. Splow. I've been after this one for I can't even tell you how long. So when I come here today to Atlanta, just outside of Atlanta, and find it just sitting in the new arrivals bin, guys, it's the best. I mean, you can go pull up a record on a search on eBay and get what you want. Probably gonna overpay, but you can get what you want. You can do the same with Discogs and get what you want. But there's nothing like walking, I think you'll probably agree with me, there's nothing like walking into a record store and flipping through the bins and seeing that record that you've been looking for.
Instant euphoria.
It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. There ain't nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And I experienced that several times this weekend, several times today.
It's definitely something that pleases the endorphins.
Absolutely.
It really does. It's just like knowing that you got it right in your hand and you discovered it.
Yeah, nobody had to send it to you or mail it to you, or you have it. It's right here. All you got to do is pay, and it's yours. You take it home with you. Last but not least, the most expensive of the three, and it's on par with the three, honestly. I love Andrew Hill, and it's Andrew Hill Grassroots. I've always loved the cover of this record. To me, the album cover of this is simple, but sometimes there's just beauty and simplicity. And I hope I don't have to explain to you guys why I love this cover so much. It's just wonderful stuff. It's just, hey, that's what it's all about right there. That's just what it's all about. It's Lee Morgan on trumpet, Booker Irvin on tenor, Andrew Hill on piano, Ron Carter on bass, and Freddie Waits on drums. What? Jesus. I've got this theory that I think Ron Carter secretly played on every great jazz album ever. Even if he's not credited, he probably was in the studio at the time. That's Ron Carter, by the way, still with us. Blue Nose. Wow. Original stereo. All right. So, Ella Guru will definitely go back. Record Loft will definitely go back. Fox Brothers Barbecue today will definitely go back. We stopped and we had a couple of beers at Orpheus Brewing. I think we'll go back to that as well. And they were crowded as a motherfucker, but I think we'll go back as well. Great day. And it's not over. We got live jazz music we're catching here in about an hour and a half. Larry Carlton. It's going to be great stuff. So it's going to be great. And the night's not over yet. And this is our last night in Atlanta. We're heading back on to upstate South Carolina tomorrow morning. And hey, till next time.
Yep.
Till next video.
Keep driving that needle, folks.
There you go. I'll let you have that.